Hello and welcome to another episode of the Farr Show, where I am Damian Farr, and tonight we are talking about the Fantastic Four movies. I almost thought about pushing this one back again because I saw Chaos Walking, but that's going to come out next Friday, so be prepared for that. So, let's start talking about it. The Fantastic Four films. So, we're going to start with the 2005 one, then go on to Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then go on to Fantastic Four, which... honestly, I'm excited to talk about all these, but I think the one that I'm excited the most to talk about is the 2015 one because the cast was such a good young cast. It was like, this could be a franchise, but then studio meddling made it bad. So let's start talking about, first off, Fantastic Four. You got Ian Griffithal. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but you know, he's there, and looking at this camera, it's all messed up. There we go. Now we're fixed. He's Dr. Reed Richards - Mr. Fantastic, which is amazing. We got Jessica Alba as Sue Storm or the Invisible Woman. Great casting. Chris Evans as Johnny Storm or the Human Torch. I mean, Captain America? Before he was Captain America? Oh, okay. I mean, this is the movie that made people think that guy's gonna be Captain America. This and The Losers, I think, made everybody think that guy's gonna be Captain America. So, I mean, then you got Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm - The Thing. I think good casting once again. I'm not too familiar with his work other than this, but I think he did really well as The Thing. The plot is pretty much just them getting their powers and defeating Doctor Doom. That's the gist of this movie. That's literally the gist. Don't get me wrong, it is an okay movie. I'd give it an FA. R on a good day, FA on a bad day. So personally, I think this was a good start. I think it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. And we're getting there. It's getting worse. So we got Fantastic Four 2 or Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, which, same cast. We have Doug Jones as Norman Rad - the Silver Surfer. Also, Lawrence Fishburne is the voice of the Silver Surfer, which... Ooh, that's a good voice. But honestly, it feels more like a B movie than anything, with a wedding and Earth ending kind of a thing, which I'm okay with. I like the B movie feel. Is it as good as the first one? Hell no. This one's an FA, hands down. It feels like this was the movie that they just made, and then a lot of fans were upset. I honestly was not a Marvel fanboy at the time. Now that the MCU's come and I want to be Wolverine, I've become a Marvel fanboy. But I mean, I guess Galactus was completely wrong. He looked like Dormammu in Doctor Strange. I wonder if that was a jab at this. I don't know what Dormammu looks like normally, but I'd like to think this is what Dormammu looks like. So I think honestly it's a pretty good movie, definitely still worth watching. Then we're getting to the final one, which is Fantastic Four 2015. I don't want to look at the Spidey cam for all this, but I felt I need to use the Spidey cam at least once. I mean, that's really all there is to say. Let's get it done quick here, Spidey cam. But before we get into this movie, I think there was a lot of studio meddling. A director who was a young, up-and-coming director directed Chronicle with Michael B. Jordan in it as well. You know, he was starting something here. I think if they would have let him go more of the horror route that it sounded like he wanted to go, where it's like, oh, this is horrific, we've got powers, and make it a horror-driven movie, I think it would have worked out great. But that's just me. So, you got an amazing young cast. Miles Teller as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Do I really need to say their names completely? I think you know who I'm talking about at this point. Michael B. Jordan, sexiest man alive, as Johnny Storm. He's adopted. I think that's important to point out for some reason that he's adopted. Kate Marie as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm, the Thing. Toby Kebbell, Victor Von Doom - Dr. Doom. Tim Blake Nelson as Dr. Harvey Allen, which honestly, I think they were trying to go for a little bit of a mix over with the MCU there. Just a subtle one, because he was in The Incredible Hulk, though it is the least MCU movie of them all. I mean, I think that works out great. It's like a little tie to Incredible Hulk. Maybe this was before he was in The Incredible Hulk, technically speaking, time-wise. I think that'd be kind of cool, honestly. But pretty much the plot is the horror of them getting their powers, and then the director lost it, meaning Josh Trank. He directed Chronicle, wrote it, to my understanding, and then he made this. And he was going to be doing a Star Wars movie, and then he lost the Star Wars movie right away because, well, Disney don't want no crazy people on their sets. So, I think it was a good attempt. It could have been a lot better. Like I said, I think studio meddling screwed it up more than anything. I'd give it an FA just because I love the cast. Their chemistry is still really good. Though, I think the movie could have been a lot better if maybe he got his original vision, or Fox had a different director and just would have did what they wanted to directly. I think that would have been perfect. But we don't live in a perfect world. We get one or the other, or in this case, both, by mistake. So, what am I thinking is going to happen with Fantastic Four? Well, Fantastic Four, the new movies, are going to be directed, at least the first one is going to be directed by John Watts, the guy who directed Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, I'm okay with that. I think he's been a really great director. He's made the cast of the Spider-Man movies feel really good. I'm not going to say it's all him because, you know, there's writers involved and other people, but I think he's done a really good job, and I think with Fantastic Four, he could do really well. And I know what you're thinking. Damien, who are your dream castings for Fantastic Four? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to talk about some of them. Obviously, I'm going with everybody else here. Mr. Fantastic, I want John Krasinski. I would also like him to help write it in some way, because he's been a really good writer from what I've seen with A Quiet Place and what he's been working on overall. I think he'd be a great fit for Reed Richards. And his wife, in real life, Emily Blunt as Sue Storm, I think that'd be great. Maybe instead of doing the origin stories like they've done a couple of times, take the Spider-Man approach. Just have it where they're already at the point where they have their powers. Sue and Reed are already married. Thinking about kids. There you go. Make it where they're thinking about kids. Who would I get to play Johnny? Well, Chris Evans, of course. That's a joke. That's really a joke. Who would I get to play Johnny, though? I don't know, honestly. I think there's a lot of good actors out there. Johnny has this really cocky attitude, and off the top of my head, I don't know anybody who could really play him. I think maybe you go with like a... Let's see, who would I go with personally? This is off the cusp, by the way. Those two I just knew right away. Let's skip to Ben Grimm, The Thing. I think, honestly, as weird as this sounds, I think Daniel Radcliffe would do really well here. I also think he would be a pretty good Wolverine, but I'm Wolverine, so sorry, Daniel. Then, I mean, we got to get the last one in there, and I don't know what I would pick, who I'd pick for Johnny Storm. Who would I go with? Johnny Storm. Who would you pick for Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four? Tell me in the comments below. I think for Johnny Storm, I gotta go with someone that's kind of out of left field. And I think I'd go with like a... It's really hard to think. Maybe like a Zac Efron? Weirdly enough, he was in That Awkward Moment with Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller, so for some reason I just thought those two and him. So, I mean, he could be a pretty good Johnny Storm, I think. I'm not a huge Zac Efron fan. I think he's an okay actor, but still. So, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Fantastic Four? Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Fantastic Four. I'm holding up the number 4, by the way. And then, the future Fantastic Four. Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and have a far off night.